Great evening, great evening, great. It is Wednesday. Great Wednesday evening, everyone. As you can see, I'm at a different location. So the lighting is a little off, so bear with me. But I just wanted to make sure that I came to you live today, as I am doing on a daily basis from here on out, to share some information with you. I had a really great discussion with someone who I've been looking forward to chatting with for a long time. She and her sister own a number of senior daycare, I think, adult day activity locations, as well as um, homes for seniors after they are no longer staying at home by themselves. And so I wanted to chat with her to see some things that maybe I could offer to you all to make sure that I'm on point with what it is that I feel is helpful to you, and what she, from her business perspective, they have numerous locations across southern Georgia. Um, and are really successful in this space. So I wanted to see where she thought something like these services could go for you, and any other ideas that she had. And so one of the things that came back to mind, and one of the things is the pillar, one of the pillars of my framework that I intend um, to share with you all as I launch my program, is stimulation, and how important it is for us to have activities for our loved ones that keep them active, either physically or mentally. And again, everything is to their capacity, physically and mentally, right? Depending on which stage of the disease that they are in. Certain activities may no longer be appropriate. Certain things that they used to do may not be appealing to them any longer, right? So we want to make sure that we are keeping in mind our loved one when we try to make sure that they have things to do. Um, Convention says that there should be a full day planned for your loved one, right? With set activities and a routine that they are following each day in order to get through their days without the agitation, or less agitation or anxiety, right? And the familiarity of the routine will be safe to them, right? So the thing is that most caregivers are family members doing it for free, and who also have either full-time or part-time jobs, who have their own families and activities that they want to do for themselves, right? So we don't really have the luxury of planning out a full day's activity, that we have our loved ones doing this first, and then in the next hour they're doing this, and oh, this meal, right? So it's not as easy for us to have a day planned for them. One. Two is that um, if it's just you, um, it may not be something that your loved one or you are interested in doing, right? All day, um, right, doing activities. And the lack, really, it's the lack of social interaction that I'm getting at. So we want to make sure that if we can, they are also still engaging with their friends. We had a discussion yesterday about ourselves and making sure that we do that to avoid caregiver burnout. Well, we want to make sure that we keep our loved ones in as much close connection with friends and other family members as possible, or to get them involved in areas and at places where they can generate new relationships and get that mental stimulation and social stimulation that is needed to help um, slow the progression of the disease, or to just make sure that they, again, are active and not just sitting around and in their heads and then getting agitated, right? So I was really excited to talk to her. Shonda Blue and her sister Jessica Wright own Innovative Service Senior Solutions, and so I was excited to talk to her about it, because it's really key, right, for them to have that, and that's what their service is. They started out caring for their grandmother, and then they're both nurses, and then they created a business around the care that they gave, because they saw the need for it, much like what I'm doing, right? And so it was really cool to hear her take on it, and again, having a service, daily service that you can have your loved one go to throughout the day could be and not only a boon to them and their care process, but to you as well, because it gives you a moment of respite that um, you could use, right? A break for yourself on a daily basis or every other day or something like that. So if you are in position to be able to afford or have Medicare or Medicaid cover your loved one going to a senior daycare, and there's one close enough in your area, I highly recommend you look into it, right? We always want to vet any new experiences and places that your loved one will go to. One of the comments that I made today is, my hesitance is if I know my loved one, maybe I'm a little afraid to let them go elsewhere, but we do want to let them branch out and just give it an opportunity to work instead of just assuming that it wouldn't work as well. And most or many, I should say, of these adult day centers even have transportation available wherein they'll come and pick up your loved one and drop off potentially too. So you being able to physically get them there or not doesn't have to be an issue if you find a location that has that particular transportation service available to you as well. And then the other part of their service that they have is that, right, if it's possible and feasible, keeping your loved one at home is maybe what their wish will be when they get to a point where it's too much for the person at home to handle, or right, their medical care and the disease has progressed enough that they now have to have specialized care that you can't get in home, then sending them then having them placed into an adult facility, adult care facility may be what you need. And so they offer that service as well. And again, having had personal experience with their loved one themselves, they're ensuring that their locations are um, that their location have people who and employees who are well trained in caring for elderly and with elderly who have dementia as well. And that is key as well. The training that anyone at a day center as well as an overnight center has in dealing with people with that particular illness is key, because it's a different beast, right? People behave differently, not like themselves. They may, be a lot harsher and seem mean and get confused and agitated, right? So you need to expose them only to people who have compassion and who have an understanding of the disease, who have an understanding of how to reframe situations or how to de-escalate situations when your loved one does happen to get agitated, right? They're prepared for that because it may happen, right? If it happens at home with you, chances are it'll happen elsewhere. So you want them around people who are trained to provide proper care should that happen when they are at their locations. Sorry, my allergies are kicking my tail, hence the raccoon eyes. But anywho, and so one thing, and this will be a separate discussion at some point, is that the idea that you have gotten to the point where your loved one actually needs to go into um, an adult care center, don't beat yourself up about it, right? Number one, caregiving is not for everyone, period, right? It'd be nice in an ideal world where, aside from the social expectations, where your loved one gets older and then they just stay with you and all is well with the world, right? um, Sometimes it's not good for your loved one. It's not good for your loved one to still be home. Well, sorry, I just misplaced something, so I need to find it. For your loved one to be at home with you if you don't have the capacity to properly care for them, right? So sometimes being at an adult care center is what's best for them, whether it's illness related or just period family dynamics. But their centers offer both aspects depending on what you need. Just um, day care for your loved one so that you can get some things done and they get the mental and physical stimulation that they need, or or if they need to go to adult care. I'm really I misplaced my mom's ring, so I need to find it. And I love y'all. But I'm gonna go look for that right now. Have a great evening. Hopefully this was helpful. I'm sorry to back out on you right now, but I am gonna be no good if I don't find that. So I'm gonna go do that right now. All right.